Andy and I are digging the day here. This is where we stayed last night. Hotel North Carolina. And check out this view. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I could look at this all day. It's dreary, and then it's sunny, and then it's a few little rain droplets, and then it's more than a few. It's drizzly. And today is a rainy day review. I'm going to share with you what an OGP is and what does it take to do OGP work. Hope you'll join me. Linda here, Serene and Simple Life. Welcome back to a Rainy Day Reviews, or if you're new to my channel, last week I did my first Rainy Day review. I'm posting these on a Saturday for the time being, and the Rainy Day review was mail forwarding. Today's Rainy Day review is what is an OGP? And what kind of skills are required to perform this job? Some of you may remember or know that I was an OGP worker at Walmart over Christmas 2020, the late fall, November through February in Lakeland, Florida. Okay, what is an OGP? I'd never heard of an OGP. I mean, I knew there was such a thing, but I didn't know what the initials stood for. Online grocery picker. OGP. Took me a while to remember those letters. Now, I did a previous video on the difference between being a cashier, which I've done at Walmart, and being an online grocery picker, so I will not go over the most of those details, although I may interject a little bit here and there of that previous video. And if I can remember, I will put the link in the description so you can watch that difference between an OGP worker and a cashier. Today is basically going to share with you what the job is as if you were on the job training, and then what kind of, I don't know, what kind of skills or whatever I think you might need or might consider before you decide to say yes to being an OGP. All right, with no further ado, I kind of like this sitting inside Happy Haven. You know, you see lots of YouTubers, they're just like right inside their home. And most times I go out and do something at a picnic table. Unless I'm actually showing you the layout in here, or I'm cooking in here, or I'm driving. I do a lot of driving type videos too. But I just decided with these rainy days that this would be a cool way to share with you some random things about this life. And I do believe, I know I'm bunny trailing now. I'm going to repeat some things because I have so many new followers from back in the day when I first started. Like, how do I sleep? Oh, I did a sleeping video in my Acura, but I haven't done one inside Happy Haven. So I think that would be fun, as well as some of my essentials and gadgets. I refer you a lot to the playlists for those topics, but I might just do some little refreshers. And perhaps they'll be the rainy day reviews. I don't know. Will it be raining? Right at the moment it's not raining, but it's been raining all day. So this is true to the word, a rainy day review. It's not a hiking day. All right, online grocery picker. I got hired pretty much on the spot. I had already worked for Walmart. And I decided I wanted to try out something new. For those of you who've been following me a while, you know I like new, I like different, I like change, I like challenges. And we're not talking about climbing Mount Everest. We're talking about just simple, shake it up, do something different type experiences. So I said, what do I got to lose? All right, I'm going to try OGP. I trained for 2 days with a girl that was super duper fast. We're talking like, I don't know, I think she said she was like 28 years old. Whew, her brain. Boy, I thought I went fast. Nothing compared to her. I never did meet her skill set. I said, I want to be like you when I trained, and I was only there for 3.5 months, and I didn't come anywhere close to being what she did. But anyways, all ages of people, which I'll share with you in a minute. What does it take? But I worked with, I don't know, I think the oldest that I worked with was like 65 maybe. I'm sure 70, 75 could do it too. I mean, 80, I don't know, any age, as long as you're fit or a little bit fit. Anyways, I wasn't as fit as I thought I was. Okay, so we went in the first day. My hours were beautiful. I am repeating some things here from the last video, 8 to 5. The online grocery pickers at the store I worked with were either 5 to 2, 5 in the morning till 2, 6 in the morning till 3, or 8 in the morning until 5. I thought 8 was a good time to get up in the morning. Well, I got up around 7. So we go in, and I'm going to share with you the likes and the dislikes at the end. So I'll try to keep those opinions to myself as we're talking right now. We'd go in and get a cart, and the cart consisted of 8 bins. You had to put the bins in, big blue bins. I don't know, maybe 2 feet wide by 4 feet long, and they slid into the cart, and then there was 2 on top that just sat on top. And I will try to put a picture in the end of this video as well. Anyways, you put your bins in your cart, and then you get a handheld. I don't know why it's called a handheld, except that you hold it in your hand. It seemed like it should have a more technical name. It was a little digital computer thing that showed all the orders that were in for the day and what we had to pick. Normally, on an average day in this store, I'm sure it varies from store to store, we had by the time I got in at 8 o'clock, we had maybe 6,000 or 7,000 picks left. And they probably had already done a couple thousand before I got to work. On a crazy busy day where we had to move a little faster, hope that no one called in sick, there would be 10,000 to 12,000 picks. I think there was probably anywhere from 6 to 12 pickers. I don't really know. I never counted. I just knew on days when we were down pickers. Like, oh yeah, we had 4 call-ins, call off sick. I never did that. That's a bunny trail. Okay, I know things happen. People get sick. Online grocery picker. There is a couple other jobs within that I did not do, so I'm not going to really speak of those today. There's something called a down stacker. Well, I can at least tell you what it is. I'll get into that in a minute. And then the people, for the life of me, I cannot remember the name when you take the orders out to somebody's vehicle, what that's called. They had a specific name for it. So there are a couple other jobs within the online grocery picker category of job. I feel like I'm so close to the camera, and then I feel like my head is up at the top of the roof here, which it almost is. I was trying to get good lighting where you could see some pretty green in the background, and then you could also have this ambiance of my home. All right, so that's why I'm hunching, and then I'm not hunching. Anyways, back on track here. So we picked up our cart, we got our handheld, and then on the cart you had to make sure that you had your specific types of stickers for some of the bags. Fragile, we would put on bread. Substitute, if the computerized handheld told us that we could substitute, you have to put a substitute on it so that the person taking it to your vehicle can let you know this is a substitute and whether you want it or not. Heavy, so that the downstackers would know there's something heavy in this particular bin and not to break your back, kill yourself. And also alcohol, because I think under 18 or 21 you can't deliver alcohol to people's cars. So we had 4 types of stickers. We had to make sure we had bags. Paper towels was good if we had them. And then off we went. The first thing you do is you sign into the OGP app and see what the picks are for the day. And they were categorized. They were categorized by general, chill, frozen, produce, oversized, which could mean heavy, and let's see, oh, deli. I think that was it. I don't know if there was a heavy one or not. There might have been heavy too. Oh, and also pick up today. I forget what that's called. PTO maybe? No, put. Yeah, pick up today. Put, yeah. It's only been a couple months, I already forget. So those were the categories, and we were told time and time again, start from the top. Like if frozen is next in line, due at 10 o'clock, pick frozen. If we're getting caught up with general, and general meant all over the entire store. General meant all your pharmacy, all your housewares. You could pick anything in the store. And a lot of people didn't know that when they saw us. They were like, oh, I didn't know you. I thought it was just groceries. No, we pick everything. But we had to go from the top down to make sure that these orders were going to be picked on time for the person who was coming for their order, because I think when you placed an order, now I've never done this, you can put in the comments if you have, you get a time when that order is going to be ready. So I'm sure there's a little window for us, because there were days when we had the 10 or 12,000 picks that we had overdues, and that's when the managers start to be like, we're overdue on frozen, let's get this going. You know, I mean, they didn't say it like that, but we knew that anything overdue that we needed to get on right away and pick it. So out onto the floor we go. Say, I often, and this is just a personal, I liked doing chill or frozen. I also liked doing general. They were easier than doing, oh, I didn't mention doing ambient. And ambient is all your dry goods, and it can be some produce and sodas and your alcohol. That's all ambient. And ambient can get very tedious and very heavy very quickly when you're pushing the cart. So the person who was training me, for example, she was told to always do ambient because she was so fast. Out on the floor we go to, say, frozen. Frozen is, 4 aisles. For the sake of ease, keeping a track, we'll say it's aisle 1, 2, 3, 4. So on my handheld, I have aisle 1, and then there's a section, and say I'm picking up, I don't know, breaded chicken breasts. I have no idea why maybe I eat too much chicken. Okay, so that's in section 12. And then breaded chicken breasts happens to be the 5th item over on the top shelf. Follow me? So now we're talking an aisle. Like if you ask the question, where's bread at? Aisle, go to aisle 15. Okay, so you at least know, just go to the aisle. We're not going to tell you the exact section. Although The person who trained me, I think, knew every item in the store by aisle and section. I don't, she had been doing it for 2 years or a year at least. So, and being so much younger, we'll just leave it at that. So then we go to the aisle, we go to the section, and then the product number, like say it was 5 over. So now we're in aisle 1, section 12, product 5. So it'll say 1, 12, 5 on the handheld. So you can go and you can pick it. So I grab the breaded chicken breasts. I take my handheld with the laser, whatever. I hit the button and I scan it. And then it also tells me after I scan it what cart it should go into. And our carts are listed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I forgot to mention, we also had a printer. And we had to print the labels of all the different containers, the bins. They all had a label on them. So now, and with a barcode. So now we scan the bin to make sure that it goes into Mr. Smith's bin number 2. All right, so now I've scanned the breaded. It says 2. I scan it on number 2. And that's the end of that item. And you go to the next one. Frozen, excuse me, and chilled normally had, like, I don't know, anywhere between 20 to maybe 40 or 50 items at the most, because they wanted us to have a little timer on our cart, because with frozen or chilled you needed to pick it within 20 minutes, because when you go to the back room then for OGP, where they're doing the down stacking and they're organizing all the bins by people's names and times of day when they're going to be picking them up, we have to get it in the freezer or the cooler within like a half an hour's time. We can't be spending an hour on chilled because we're frozen, because obviously the stuff would be thawing or getting warm. I didn't always have a timer with me. We'll talk about that in a minute. So pick, and then go on to then take it to the back room, and you dropped it off according to times. Like say this was due at 10 in the morning, I would stack my bins at 2 o'clock. And then another person, a down stacker. There's actually 2 jobs in the back room, and I forget both of their names. One's a down stacker, and they take those bins and they organize them by time and people's names. So all of Mr. Smith's are going to be in one area, and then they go from one area to another area ready to go out to the car. So there's actually a total of 4 different jobs within OGP. There's the picker, there's the down stacker, there's the person that moves them to another area, and then the person that takes them out to the car with their handheld to go over the order and get the payment. I guess that's how that works. Because there's a lot of substitutions, so you don't know exactly what you're paying for until later. Oh, there is a substitution category too. Yeah, that comes sometimes on the handheld. We can't find the item, so it falls right into the substitutions. And then usually the manager was out doing all the substitutions. And then at the end of the day, if we had more picks left, we would help out with those subs. So now that I've totally confused you, right? I've confused myself. It's just a step-by-step, getting your cart and putting your bins in, and making sure you have your printer, and then you get your labels and you put them on the bins, and then you have your handheld and you go out onto the floor and you pick the items according to aisle, section, and product. And then you take them to the back room, which was expanding rapidly as I was there. I mean, when I got hired, the manager said, yeah, by the end of the year, we'll probably be down to the end of the hallway. I mean, this is only a couple years new, and the growth, is just exponential. Exponential? Something like that. Exponential, something. It's growing. And I'll tell you, I don't know when I get to my little landing zone, you know, and I told you back last week in the mail forwarding that when I'll have a permanent address, or I'll have a stationary, that doesn't mean that I'm giving up being a nomad. It just means that I'll have an address where when I come back to it, my mail will have collected for a while, or I'll do stop mail or something like that and pick it up at the post office. It's just because I'm gonna have a place. But with that said, I don't know, I might get to doing that online grocery picking, or not doing the job, but utilizing that. Kimberly told me she used it all the time, and she actually had paid extra for people to actually bring it to her door too. So you can pick up the order at a certain time in the back of the store. There's a designated area. For those of you who've never used the online grocery picking service, or you can pay, I don't know, $10, $15 more. I don't know, put in the comments. I'm sure it's different for different areas, how much you pay. All right, so let me see. I covered what sits on the cart, how many picks per day, the shifts, you know, the car loaders, which that's not what they're called, and the down stackers. I mean, you could have a shift like 11 to 8. I think the last pickup orders was like at 7 or 8. So that's when online grocery picking shuts down for the day. And then we come back in the morning and start all over again. Let me think if there's anything else. I asked my trainer how many picks she did a day, and I think she said she picked well over 1,000 a day. I was nowhere near there. I probably did, let me see, I would do two runs around the store in the morning at 8 o'clock, and then it would take me, I don't know, till 10 or 10:30. This was just kind of a standard. This wasn't always the case. 2 or 3 runs I knew, and then I would take a break, 15-minute break. Then I would get back on the floor for another 2.5 hours, and I would do 3 more runs, and then go to lunch. And then if there was any picks left over, sometimes we were all done by 2 o'clock. And if we were done by 2, I would take my lunch, and then I was fortunate enough that they needed me to cashier. So I literally just went from doing my online grocery picking right to cashier, because I had a cashier number and I had done that previous. There was a couple times when I helped the manager with stocking shelves, only a couple times. You take out that big U-bow or whatever it's called and take things out of boxes and put them on the shelves. Not my cup of tea, but that's not what this video is about. Most of the time I got in my 8 to 5. If we left early, we had to get permission. I think it was only once or twice, like I maybe left an hour early. It was a joyous day whenever I had online grocery picking and cashiering all on the same day, because it gave me 2 different things to do. So that was really fun. Wanted to go over then now, before I do my likes and dislikes, what it takes. I don't know. I think you should have some upper body and lower body strength, maybe just a little bit more than I have. There were days I had aches and pains, not too bad. I think it had to do with, you know, just not used to pushing that cart, and it eased up after a while. But I didn't have the strength, you know, 24 packs of water. Times when I would have like 2 12-packs of soda, I'd have a 24-pack of water, I would have dog food when I was doing ambient, and the cart just got heavier and heavier. So that, simple enough to use the handheld, that didn't take really any skill at all. You know, having a decent memory of where things are. I mean, all day long, excuse me, you get questions about where things are. I never did perfect that at all, though it would certainly make your job a whole lot easier, both picking and helping the customer, if you knew where things were in the store. I was left alone, you know, a lot, which I guess that brings me to my likes and dislikes. Not a whole lot of skill needed. All ages, all different types of personalities, more on the young side. and the down stackers and the people going to, dropping stuff off, loading the cars. I wish I could think of that name. Were younger. I mean, there was 18-year-olds back there. Got along pretty much with everybody. I mean, I was there such a short amount of time, But my likes was the hours. I asked for those hours. I got those hours. I was on my own, as I mentioned, and it was fast-paced. Although I wasn't speeding up and down the aisles either. I mean, you can't. Walmart is Walmart. Busy, 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 right? My dislikes was, this was the big one. Hello, Walmart, if you're listening, looking for equipment. Carts. I'd come in at 8 o'clock and there was no carts. Okay, so what do? Handhelds. I hear the handhelds cost, I don't know, do they cost like $1,000? We're talking Walmart. Is money an object, Walmart? Hello, Walmart. I would spend sometimes from a half an hour up to an hour before I had the equipment that I needed for the day to do my job. Annoying. I got used to it though. I got to that place, Linda, you've got to accept this. This is not your circus. This is not your monkeys. This is not your circus. If Walmart wants to pay me $11.50 an hour to wait to get a handheld and to get a cart, so be it. But it doesn't take a rocket science to figure out all those $11.50 could buy a handheld. Just saying. Walmart's not going to watch this video. That was a frustration that became annoying, that became an acceptance, because the managers could feel it too. And I worked with very nice managers who were very nice. My suggestion would be everyone had a handheld, and if you don't turn your handheld in when you're done, when you turn in your resignation or whatever, that you're charged for that handheld. I mean, if not, it's a write-off for the company if someone doesn't pay it, and you would never work for Walmart again either, because that would be like theft, right? I don't know, common sense. Here's the window. All right, lifting heavy items, that was hard. And another thing is, I've looked at other Walmarts now. We had some carts that were super duper heavy. They were probably twice the metal of the newer carts. And so they were much heavier to push around. And I seem to oftentimes have to start the day with a very heavy cart. And then when the people who had started at 5 left at 2 p.m., then I was able to switch over to a lightweight cart. We're talking from heavy metal to aluminum, the difference, just like a camp chair. You got heavy chairs that are camp chairs, and you've got super duper lightweight ones like the one I own that's aluminum, like a backpacker's chair. So that was the difference in carts. That was hard. The back was chaotic. We could have used a room twice that size, coming through. I felt like we needed a horn, coming through, and because there's people all over the place moving the bins, people coming in with their carts to unload the carts. We would take the bins and put the whole bin down, not just the bags. So overall, would I do OGP again? Perhaps. Those of you who've been watching my channel for a while, I'm not heading back to work anytime soon, as long as things remain the way they are now. So we'll leave it at that. But maybe you're watching this 5 years from when I did this video, and it's not like that anymore. So, and we can all forget about the nightmare, right? Anyways, I liked OGP overall. I loved my trainer. She would take and look ahead by like 5 or 6 items of what was needed in that particular aisle, and she was able to pick 5 or 6 items at one time, and she would have stickers on her pants and on her shirt, and she had 4 or 5 bags, and she would take and she would scan the item, she would scan the sticker and drop it in the bag. She had them hanging on her arm. It was totally amazing. And she said it saved her lots of steps, And speaking of steps, she had a step thing on her, and she said she probably did about 10,000 steps a day. It saved her steps and it saved her time, and she was a little speedboat, and it was awesome, because when you get trained by the best and they perfect their skills, then you can't go wrong. It's not like you're this mess right out of the gate. So the trainer it was really, really cool to have her. I thought she was, her name was Eva, and she was just a dear heart. But anyways, I think people called her Eva, and it was Eva. I don't know. Memory. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this little rainy day review. More to come. I'm doing a lot of videos on Sundays. I've changed the Thursday videos to like 5 o'clock. I'm getting more watches at that time. On Sundays, I'm still keeping them at 11 a.m., but I may change that, so stay tuned. I'm trying to be consistent once I figure out when the most of my audience is around, and I think YouTube goes by Eastern time. So I'm talking Eastern when I say at 5 o'clock at night on Thursdays, and then 11 a.m. on Sundays is my main videos, and now I'm starting the rainy day reviews on Saturdays for the time being. Alrighty. Blessings in your day, joy in the journey. You never know, an OGP just might be in your future. Later.